So, Geno Auriemma. Geno Auriemma is a basketball coach. He is a coach of he's one of the most winningest coaches in the history of the sport of basketball. But he made a couple of blunders. He's made a few blunders, and when it comes to Geno Auriemma, there's always I'll say this, there's like a history of, and not recruiting badly, because he has recruited really well, but if he makes a mistake, it's the player's fault. Or if a player doesn't want to play for him, it's not my fault, it's the player's fault. If a player, we saw it with the Auriemma situation. We've now seen it with Caitlin Clark, where it's the guy made sure as hell to belittle Caitlin as much as possible. But at the same time, mainly because he didn't want her. He didn't want her at the time. And look, if Geno Auriemma had come out and said what the reality of the situation was Caitlin Clark the way she played didn't fit the way I wanted the team to play. And look, at the time, we got Paige Beckers, and I didn't feel like Caitlin Clark was best used she was going to be best used as a small forward, which she would have had to play in my system. Something like that. Something like that. If you admit maybe some fault to your system, or even a line of being you know what, she made the best decision for her, she's had a great career. Not, Paige is better. All of last season, Paige is better. Because, I get it. You can publicly say it. But he's bringing it up in, situations where he's going out of his way to be well, Caitlin's getting some praise. He's not even asked about Caitlin Clark as well. Paige is better. But now we're hearing him talk about some stuff about Caitlin Clark on a podcast where it's look, I don't think he said anything that bad. It's just sometimes it's the messenger isn't the greatest.
Back then, because they didn't. It's a very simple answer. Because they didn't. Now they do. Point is, where are we going next? And if we think that one kid, one Caitlin Clark is going to be enough to take this where it needs to go, it's not. Or one Paige Beckers, it's not.
And that's the thing where, in fairness, people being oh, you have to mention Paige Beckers just like you mentioned Angel Reese. He's Paige Beckers' coach. Let's not get it twisted. One, Paige is a huge draw. Two, he's Paige Beckers' coach. I'm sorry, there are people where it's completely acceptable to just mention other. There are times where it's acceptable to mention another person. When you are the coach of one of those other people, fair enough. If you are the Chicago Sky coach, Tyler Marsh, he is one of 15 people where it's acceptable to say, for them to come out and say Caitlin Clark is better than Angel Reese better than Caitlin Clark. There's about 13 people, just like there's a couple of people that can say Paige is as big a draw as Caitlin, or Paige is as big as Caitlin. Geno is one of them. In fairness, Geno is one of them. He is her coach.
What they do is they show you the way. They show you what's possible. The people that run the operation have to now capitalize on it. Then the younger generation, the high school people, have to prepare these kids so that when they get to college, we have something good to work with. And then we send them up to the WNBA, and then they have something good to work with. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So it still comes back to those of us that are in charge of the game. Are we making the game better every day? Are we making our players better every day?
So, again, he's just talking about the growth, talking about Caitlin Clark. And in fairness, he at least gave Caitlin some credit there. This is him talking about how Caitlin, connects with players.
Clark, who she is the way she is with people. She connects with people, and people connect with her.
And that's the reason. There's a reason for that, by the way. There is a reason for that. One, she's really good at basketball. And I think the biggest reason why people connect with Caitlin Clark, because obviously the basketball is the reason why people watch her play basketball. And that's the thing is when you talk about players connecting with players, there are a lot of people who do connect with Angel Reese. Because there's different cultures, there's different ways people act in different cultures. It is what it is. And the on-the-court stuff is what is propelling the viewership numbers. But I think the reason why people connect with Caitlin Clark is she's just a normal person. Caitlin Clark is fangirling at she's one of the biggest celebrities in the world. On the court, she is a phenomenon. And then off the court, she's fangirling at Taylor Swift. She's memeing on Instagram in Instagram comments. She's just going out there playing golf watching games, not like VIP courtside watching Colin James, just sitting in the crowd at Butler games. Like, she's just a normal person who happens to be really freaking good at the game of basketball.
Now, she talks a lot of shit on the court.
What does that have to do with anything? And in fairness, she does. That's fine. Like, she does. Like, what does that have to do with people connect with her? No one connects with someone because they talk shit.
All right, believe me. You know, when people talk about in WNBA, why are these people beating up Caitlin Clark? Because she talks a lot of shit on the court.
What? You yourself said she was targeted for all this stuff. She was like, you yourself literally said, these players want to make a point because basically because of the hype, because of, you even mentioned targeted because of her race. You even mentioned that is a factor. And then you're like, well, she gets targeted because she talks a lot of trash. I'm like, cool. If that was the case, why would you not have said that all those months ago? Because it's not the reality. Reality is everyone talks trash. Nobody talks more shit than Diana Taurasi. People don't target Diana Taurasi because of that. There's a difference between, like, the way you go at a trash talker. And Caitlin Clark is one. Caitlin Clark is one. No question about it. Caitlin Clark is a freaking better reincarnation of Diana Taurasi. I don't know if she'll have the longevity, but she'll have a higher peak than Taurasi. Caitlin Clark has the mentality of Diana Taurasi. She's the mentality of Kobe. She's got the mentality of MJ. Like, there are different mentalities for different players, but she's got that, like, psychotic killer instinct mentality. That there is. Taurasi is the only one. Taurasi is the only WNBA player that has that psycho mentality, and I mean that in a good way when it comes to, like, the Kobe type stuff. But, like, they don't go at her because she talks trash. They go at her because she's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark could literally be. Caitlin Clark could have her mouth taped shut and not say anything, and they will guard her the exact same way. But yes, she does talk shit. But that's not why, and you know it, Geno.
On the court, all right? Believe me. You know, when people talk about in WNBA, why are these people beating up Caitlin Clark? Because she talks a lot of shit on the court, all right? That's what makes her good. So she's not like this, angel walking around there and everybody else is beating her up. Nah.
Like, what are you, like, what? So you basically just admitted people are beating her up. Like, I don't get Geno Auriemma. Like, I don't get him. I don't get the guy. Because I'm like, I look at Geno Auriemma and I'm like, he genuinely just, everything he does, like, he contradicts himself constantly. And everything, when it comes to Geno Auriemma, has some sort of ulterior motive of, UCONN is the best, I'm the best. Like, not even that, like, not I'm the best, sorry. But, like, if it's fine if it's UCONN, it's not if it's not. Or stuff like that. Like, everything is that. It's like, if you are a player who played for UCONN, you can do no wrong. If you didn't play for UCONN, I'm going to find every miniature flaw with your game. And the whole thing with him and Caitlin Clark is he still just seems pissed. And, like, nothing he's saying is wrong. It is very clearly, like the tone, not necessarily tone, but, like, where he's going with it. Like, saying Caitlin Clark talks trash is true. It is objectively true. But, like, Caitlin Clark, in college basketball, by the way, in just NCAA last year, they ranked, like, the trash talkers. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, am I right in saying Caitlin Clark was ranked, like, below Cameron Brink? Like, it was Angel Reese was ranked above Caitlin Clark. She was ranked as, like, the 7th biggest trash talker in college basketball last year. So it's not like she talks shit. Every good basketball player, almost every good basketball player says something, other than maybe Paige Beckers. But, like, she's not the biggest trash talker in the W. She's not in the top 20 trash talkers in the W. She talks a bit of trash, and that's fine. She does it more than the average player. Saying 20 of 140. Yeah, probably about there. But to say, like, the only reason that, like, Kennedy Carter said you B-word and cheap shotted her, or Alyssa Thomas clocked her in the face, or Dejanay Carrington, I know she got her in the eye. I still don't think she meant to hit her in the eye. It's too hard to be that accurate. But I do fully believe Dejanay Carrington meant to smack her in the face. Why Diamond Shields shoved her in the back running the fast break. Why Victoria Vivian's, like, 30 seconds into the game, just turned around and clocked her. Like, come on. If it was just about trash talk, Diana Taurasi would have been punched. This stuff would have happened to Taurasi. because she did it 10 times worse than Caitlin Clark. She's 10 times worse when it comes to that than her.